Hello, welcome back to the Autumn Acorn Knits. My name is Judy. This is my monthly podcast where I like to talk about the things I've been knitting, crocheting, naturally dyeing, sewing, and today I have some whittling, something a little different on top of the usual content. I'm coming to you from my closet again, which is actually my new recording studio. So it serves many purposes. It's my sewing room, my recording studio, and my closet. So perfect. I hope you have something to drink. I have forgotten my drink, but I may grab it at an intermission. But anyway, I have my notes. I want to talk to you today about a couple of finished objects, some works in progress, my new hobby, as I mentioned, the wood carving, and then I have a really fun giveaway at the end, and I can't wait to share with you what's in the giveaway, what the giveaway is for, and how you can win it. So let's get started with episode 72. I can't believe it. Every time I say these like higher numbers, I'm like, where does the time go? But it has been quite a few years since I started this podcast, so okay, let's get started with my first finished object, which you may have noticed right here, is my Larkspur lace pullover. Now this is my second version of this pullover that I've knit. The first version was gifted to my daughter in Hawaii because it ended up being her size, not mine. So it was a bit small. This one fits me really well, except I ran out of yarn. So the sleeves are the correct length. They have the correct amount of, number of inches of lace, as well as the neck, which, by the way, can be folded in and sewn in place, or you can leave it out to keep you, if you want to have a warmer pullover. So the lace is fine here. However, when I got to the body, I ran out of New Teden. And this is New Teden in the color Jera, J-E-R-A. I think that's how you say it, Jera or Jera. It's this really pretty, heathered, muted purple tone, but with gray underneath it. So it's a really pretty color. I love how something delicate like lace can look when you use a rustic yarn. I think that's a really pretty touch. But I started out with, I think it was just 3 skeins. Let's see. I started with 300 grams, so 3 plates or wheels, whatever you want to call them. And it just wasn't quite enough. I think if I had had another, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 grams, I would have been just fine. But I tried it on, and it looks really cute cropped. I love that when I'm sitting down, it just comes to like right above where my pants sit, so there's no extra bulk. So I'm thinking this is going to have its place in my wardrobe after all. It took me some time to come to terms with the fact that this wouldn't be the perfect Larkspur lace pullover that I wanted it to be. In fact, I had to put it in a timeout for a while and think, because I was really thinking that I wouldn't even be able to get 2 sleeves out of it, which would have been terrible. I didn't want to do color blocking on this project. I just wanted to use up what I had, and honestly, this works out really well. Now, the original pattern would have had 34 more rounds of lace. That would have brought it down to, about here, which the directions are in the pattern for that exact model if you want to do it that way, or you can do it cropped and stop whenever you feel like it. I knit the size 3 this time, which was a medium. I wanted it to be a little bigger because this is something I would be wearing more as a jacket outside over a t-shirt. Yeah, it's a warm one. And I used a US 7 4.5 millimeter and a US 9 5.5 millimeter needles. It took me a total of 15 days, and that was even with putting it in timeout for a couple of days because I didn't think I could face it. Yeah, so 15 days, that's not too bad considering it's a full sweater. And this design is going to be released on December 1st, so it's coming right up. So if you're interested in knitting this, and obviously I use Nutiden, I had used some Harrisville Designs Daylights wool for the first sample. You can use anything you want for this. I suggest a rustic yarn, but honestly, it would look beautiful in anything. So yeah, stay tuned for that. It is knit top down raglan construction, and it's very easy. The lace looks harder. It's not even really lace, it's ribbing, but I call it lace because to me it's lacy, but it's just a simple ribbing and anyone can do that. So that is my first finished object. My second finished object is for my youngest granddaughter, Blake, who is just 3.5. And this is going to be a Christmas present for her. I knit her the Anne sweater, which I will try to show you a picture. This is a paid for pattern, and I don't want to give too much away, but maybe you can see that. It's a really sweet little short sleeve sweater, top down, very different construction than I'm used to. I used the Royal Llama silk that was left over from my sweater, Felix cardigan. I almost couldn't remember the name of it. It's the beautiful llama silk. And we have some puff sleeves. Hold on a minute, I want to make sure, yeah, I'm showing you the right side. So here it is. I'm hoping this fits Blakey. It seems a little small to me, but she's not that big. You know, she's just a little thing herself. So I think it will work out. I also bought her a really beautiful, I think it's called taffeta, a taffeta long, like fancy wedding skirt to go with this in blue. So I think it'll make a really pretty outfit because she loves to dress up like a princess. So you got to go with it, right? While she's still enjoying it. So yep, that's the Anne sweater. This one took 22 days. Now that's a long time for a child's sweater, and I knit the size 4. Oh, and I used a US 5, which is 3.75 millimeters, and a US 7, 4.5 millimeters for the needles. It took me 3 skeins, so 150 grams. I think I had a little bit left over from the yarn. The pattern is written beautifully. There are no mistakes. It's, you know, it's easy to follow. It just wasn't the most fun construction I've ever done, but, you know, to get there, to get these puffy sleeves, there were a lot of short rows, and the neckline was just different, that's all. Not bad, just different. I decided to do twisted rib for all of my trim, and that, I don't believe that was in the pattern, but I thought it looked cute. So yeah, hopefully it'll fit Blake, and she'll enjoy that little gift, little outfit for Christmas. I'm not sure if I'll be knitting another Anne sweater. I don't know. By the way, this was $8.52, and it comes in 11 sizes, 0 to 6 months, all the way up to 12 years. So I could still knit Charlie one as well if she likes this. We'll see. It's going to be a while, though, before I want to do that. Oh, I should have shown you the picture of the Larkspur lace, the first version that I sent my daughter. in this very nice neutral color. And she was modeling it for me. Fits her so well. But it gives you a better idea of the longer lace at the bottom. Okay, I also finished 2 gift knits, but I cannot show them to you here. So yeah, I did more than it looks like I have done. And that brings us to our works in progress already. So the first work in progress, I started, let's see now, when did I start this? You know what? I am not sure. All I have written in my notes is that it's a long-term project. So, I'm not sure when I started it, but it has been at least, I would say it's been about a month, or 3 weeks to a month. Anyway, this is a hat, and this pattern is called Just Another Stockinette Hat. And it's by Jasmine Davis. This was a free pattern. There is no picture. It didn't come with a picture. Well, there was a picture in the Ravelry listing, but this is all you get when you print it out. It's a very quick pattern. You know, short, not quick, but short pattern, easy, straightforward. First time I've ever done a top-down hat where, yeah, you start from the top and you do your increases for a while. You start with double pointed needles, and then you can, once you have enough stitches, you can put them on the circulars. And these take a US 2, so very tiny. Stockinette, not stockinette, fingering weight yarn. It's actually sock yarn. Yep, so once you've got that going in the round, the beginning is a bit fiddly, I am not going to lie to you. This is a lot like the Musselburgh hat, except for it's a free pattern, and she doesn't have you do what I'm doing. So I'm kind of mashing 2 patterns together. Her pattern, which is just a traditional hat, where you would just end it and put it on your head, or what I'm doing is just continuing it on until I'm almost finished with the skein, and then I will decrease at the same rate that I started the increases, and then I'm going to tuck it inside the other part of the hat and basically make a double brimmed hat. That'll be about this size or this length, and I think that'll work out really well. Maybe a little bit longer, maybe like that. But it's going to be, that way I could fold up the brim, and that would be a 4-ply brim with a 2-ply. And I'm dropping needles, hold on. Dropping the needles, or dropping the stitches. And the needles are falling. Let me fix that up, because this will run all the way to Kingdom Come. Okay, better. Using my little pumpkin needle felted stitch marker, one of my favorites this season. So yeah, my original goal that I put some notes down that I wanted to begin decreasing at around 18 inches, or when I had 20 grams of yarn left. And I've got my handy dandy scale here, so that I can keep track. Here is what's left. It's quite a bit still. And it's called Dream in Color Smushy Sock Yarn. I got this in a yarn destash. 100% superfine Australian merino superwash. And it has 450 yards per 100 grams. So yeah, this is such a great little project for when I'm talking to someone, when I'm watching, you know, YouTube, when I just can't concentrate and I just need to knit round and round. So easy. I plan to cast on another one for my son. hopefully I can get that done for Christmas for him. Because I think it's good to always have a sock or maybe a simple stockinette hat on the needles for those times when you want to visit and still knit at the same time. So that is that. Whoops, I better put my note back in there or I will wonder where it is later. I did not bring Pajama Cardigan here to show you. Very sad to say that I haven't made much progress on it. I just got busy. I was doing a ton of dyeing. I was making Patreon videos. I was doing some sewing. I just got involved in a ton of other things and it took away my attention from Pajama Cardigan, which I started on September 1st, so I really have to get back to it. I want to wear it. I can't wait to wear it. That will happen. What's next? What's next? Oh! In here, I have a half finished object. I have two of them, but one I can't show you. But I do have a half finished object, and it's a little fingerless mitt. Isn't it cute? It's very simple, very basic, but it has this pretty lace fan motif in the front. And I got this out of a book. So this design that I made up cannot be published. Once I realized that this fan motif was exclusive to this designer and I couldn't find it anywhere else, I knew I couldn't use it. That would not be right. I would need to find a motif that was widely available for free on the internet. So this was not one of them, but I can make them for myself or to give as a gift, and that is perfectly fine. So I will make the partner for this and, like I said, gift it or keep it. The yarn that I used, again, this was some Retreat Swap yarn, and it's a beautiful cashmere merino nylon. Here's one of the Messy Hanks. It's the softest, squishiest yarn ever. I love this yarn. Here's my little tiny swatch, my little circular swatch. And do I have the name of the yarn? For some reason, I am not putting my hands on it right now, but it is a cashmere merino nylon in this beautiful cream color. So that is another half-finished object that I will work on. I used US 3 DPNs for that, my zings that I love. I really have a hard time using the thin bamboo DPNs. They always break, so I'm trying to collect them all the smaller sizes in the zings. Oh, I'm excited about this work in progress. I really am. This is a crochet project, and it is going to be a granny square blanket. So, as I mentioned before, I purchased a big, large set of 50 mini skeins from Knit Picks in their Knit Picks palette. And I chose the autumn colors. It was deeply discounted at like 40% off. And I just couldn't resist because I loved all the colors. And I love to decorate the house with autumn colors. So here's my little stack that I have so far. Oh wait, there's more. I have this one as well, and then this one as well. So I have quite a few finished. Well, let's see now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 so far from the same 3 little balls, little minis. So that's pretty good. I mean, that goes a long way. Now, obviously, I can get more out of this. Probably at least 4 more, not with the cream. I'll need to do some with just the 2 colors if I decide to go that route. I tried to make these in all of the different varieties of patterns that I could, or a lot of them anyway, not all of them, but so yeah, so I think that because I have so many minis, I'm going to be able to make quite a large blanket. And I just found this Yarnspirations free pattern and printed it out and cut it out smaller for a basic granny square washcloth. And then I just improvised. You know, I knew that it would be smaller because I'm using fingering weight yarn, and I decided that this would be a good size to make each square. Although when they are smaller, they are so cute. I was tempted. That's a lot of seaming. That's a lot of seaming, so. But there are tons of free granny square patterns on Ravelry that you can find, so super simple. And let's see what size I'm using for my hook. This is a 4.5 millimeter hook. Yeah, and I started this on November 14th, so I'm doing pretty well so far with that, I think. I have been heavily inspired by Bekah of the Vintage Dreamer podcast. She is the best carver. I love her little carvings, and why I didn't bring one is beyond me. But I've shown them before. She carves the cutest little progress keepers and ornaments. Oh, I do believe I have an ornament though. So, I've been watching Bekah talk about and show her carving experiences on YouTube, and I've just wanted to try. I did try a couple of years ago, and I carved a little crochet hook, so that was a very tiny introduction into it, but I wanted to get a little more serious. So Bekah has recommended a man named Doug, and I'll put his information down below so you can see, and I'll also put it in the show notes. Everything I talk about will be linked in the show notes. But Doug is this, like, to me, he's like the Bob Ross of carving. He's really calm, and he's really cool about it, and he's laid back, and just really great way to learn. So the first video I watched, he talked about taking old wooden spools and carving those. I have a whole basket full of these wooden spools that I picked up once at a Vermont flea market. I must have at least 100 of them. And Doug had recommended that you make a holder for the spool so that while you're carving, you have a nice handle to hold on to. So Joe was kind enough to go out in the yard into the woodshed one day, and he came back with this, which I love how he used a natural stick, because Doug showed us how to do it with a dowel, and we didn't have a dowel, but we've got tons of limbs. And then he just made this simple little washer and nut and screw system so that I can remove this spool when I'm finished, and I can tighten it when I need to tighten it, and I can carve safely. I also picked up some of these safety gloves to use so that I hopefully don't cut myself while I'm carving. So that makes me feel a lot safer. Now, carving these spools, they tend to be made of harder woods, so it's a little tricky, but it was a fun way to just sort of get my feet wet again and try something else. And Doug makes the coolest little Santa Clauses and pumpkins and things out of these, so with some practice, hopefully I'll get better at it. When I watched Bekah, I always wondered, because when I tried carving the first time, I did it outside on the porch because I thought it was so messy. But I watched her do it one day, and she was using a pillowcase to contain all of the shavings. So you just take a pillowcase, here's an old one that I found, and you just kind of roll up the sides, sit it on your lap. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see my lap in the screen, but I sit it on my lap, and then I carve. This is the basswood. I purchased some basswood recommended by Doug, and here's one piece. It came with, I think, 20 of these, but that's what it looks like when you start out. It's a pretty soft wood. I'm going to save all of the shavings, maybe you could see that, for the wood stove to start fires. I thought that would be a good use of them, or reuse. So what else can I show you? So then I decided I would pick up some tools. I was using my Swiss Army knife, like for the crochet hook, and for the when I started to try to whittle away at the spool, I just used my Swiss Army knife blade, one of the blades, but I really wanted a real set. So Doug had recommended Beavercraft. It's a good brand, so I saw this little set and with a nice case, and I thought I would buy it. So here's what it looks like on the inside. This and this are for sharpening, and then it has this nice flap to protect you because these whittling knives are very sharp. I do not know what the names of these are. I don't even really know the exact purpose, except that they're small, medium, and a large blade. That's all I know right now. I am still learning. I have a lot to learn. But it's been really fun to play around. So Bekah, I purchased from Bekah a couple, was it last year or the year before? It might have been last year. I purchased this adorable ornament for the tree that she carved out of basswood and painted. I love it so much. So, not to copy her, but I needed inspiration. I needed somewhere to start, so I thought, okay, I don't think Bekah would mind if I tried to make one just like this for my tree, so I could have two on my tree. Again, just to get the practice, And here's where we are so far. I think it's pretty close, right? So obviously I have to cut, I have to, saw this shorter and then figure out, Doug has a video on finishing the pieces off. So I'll need to look at all of that. On the other side, I've just started another smaller mushroom. I think it's going to have a different shape, but it's a start, and it's really relaxing, especially with the glove. When I'm wearing the glove, I don't have to think as hard about not hurting myself, because I can be pretty clumsy. I brought these down to Connecticut. I just took a trip with Joe. Joe and I just took a trip to Connecticut to see the family, and Charlie, who has already been learning about whittling in her wilderness school, although they whittle with potato peelers to start, so it's safer. She was quite interested in this, so I gave her a couple of pieces of my basswood to practice with, and she did well using the pillowcase as well. So even kids as young as 6 can learn how to do this, not with sharp knives, of course. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what I can get done with whittling. Speaking of Connecticut and visiting, I thought I'd tell you a little bit about one of the things that I did while I was down there. So Charlie's been going to this wilderness school. I think she's going on a year. I want to say this has been a full year that she's been attending. But she takes the winter off right now while she's young. And so her mom, my daughter Kelly, invited me to her honoring ceremony, which is a ceremony that the mentors, they don't call them teachers that at this school, they call them mentors, that the mentors put on for the students at the end of each semester. So it started out with everyone in a long line, holding hands, chanting, playing what sounded to me like Native American Indian music, like a steady drum beat, and there were a couple of mentors playing drums, and we just form this really beautiful snake that then coils and does all of these, you know, transformations. And then when you finish, everyone forms into this big circle in the field that we arrived at. And one by one, and this is all of the parents, siblings, mentors, relatives, you know, anyone, and the students. They're each grouped into their groups. Each group has a name. And so each child comes up one at a time, and their mentor looks at them in the eyes, and honors that student for their strengths. And it was so beautiful. It was all done from memory. Like the mentors didn't even have notes. They just know these students so well, and they've been following them all along, and they see their growth. And they take things like maybe being really wiggly or very busy and hyper, and they turn them into positives, which by the time the kids leave the circle, they're just beaming with pride, and the parents are beaming with pride. I was just so touched. I was so touched by it. And I just thought I would share that with you. Something that I just found to be so refreshing. My granddaughters are homeschooled, so this is a supplement to their education. There are other things as well that my daughters uses to supplement their education as well as learning from home. But this was just such a beautiful ceremony that I thought I'd share that with you. What else do I want to talk about? I told you the Larkspur lace is being released on December 1st. I also have the yarn candy scarf coming out. I know a lot of you have been asking because you want to use up your Advent minis from last year. December 9th. You can look for that pattern as well. I wanted to show you the gift this month for my patrons. Alright, so I just have two of them that I pulled down from my office, but here they are. And this month's color is from Yellow Onion and some iron. And then the mushrooms that I've shown you in a past podcast, the little sewn stuffed mushrooms, are also included as part of their gift. This is the November patron giveaway for the highest tier. So yeah, really fun, and I hope that you patrons, if you're watching, I hope you enjoy this special gift. It was a lot of fun to prepare these for you. And I thought the color reminded me of harvest, so that's perfect for November. Oh, by the way, you can sign up for free on my Patreon page. I think it gives you 7 days for free to check out, you know, anything you want there. What else? Oh, I've been looking at some new yarn bases as well, trying to get some yarn bases that are much more local. So I am diving into something in Maine. So I will let you know how I progress on that. I still have to look at all the bases and the colors and make my decisions. Oh, something else exciting. I have so many new things to tell you. I am starting an ASMR channel. If you don't know what ASMR is, how I like to think of it is just a soothing sound. There are many different ways to look at it, but it's basically a soothing sound that you hear that brings you peace, joy, relaxation, concentration, sleep, whatever you need. So I am preparing videos on, like, for example, river sounds, rain sounds. I have a fan sound, just simple knitting with music. I have coffee shop music, relaxing music. I have the wood stove. I have so many. I'm trying to come up with at least 30, and so far I've developed about 20, and they will run from about 1 hour on average to 3 hours, although I do have a sleep one that I'm trying to make that will be between 6 and 8 hours, hopefully 8 hours. That one's taking me forever to create. But the name of the channel, if you would like to subscribe, I have not put any content on yet, but I plan to just get a bunch on, perhaps 1 video a day. So I do hope you will subscribe to that. It's called the Autumn Acorn ASMR, and I will link it below. So maybe you'll be the first one to subscribe. So excited to offer you that relaxing channel on top of my knitting content. I think it's time to get into the giveaway. So, Black Sheep Dye Works, which is a fantastic company that I've purchased from in the past. They're in Vermont. I think it's Ludlow, Vermont. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it's southern Vermont. She was kind enough to dye up and send over a mini skein kit for one of you to win. And I don't want to open it because it's so beautifully packaged, but hopefully you can see the colors in there. There's like this dark gunmetal gray, and then there's a lighter silvery gray. There's this pretty Christmassy red, and then this gorgeous moss green. And so at first, when she first sent this to me, I thought, well, what a kind gift, right? I love it, mini skeins, but they are for a mystery knit-along. Now, this company has put on these mystery knit-alongs every year for quite some time, and they are called Imagined Landscapes. Again, something else that Bekah from the Vintage Dreamer has inspired me to do, because Bekah loves to join these MCALs. She's made many, many, many of the little gnomes that that you can create at Christmas time, and this is what that is for. So you don't have to join the MCAL and make a little gnome, but it's an entire month of fun, so I really highly suggest that you do. I went over and I purchased the pattern. It was $4.83 US dollars, and for that $4.83 you are going to get an experience. You are going to get the clues, you're going to get a story, you're going to get coloring pages, you're going to get so much fun and community with this, and there are like 30 prizes at the end that you can enter to win. So I think it sounds like a really fun MCAL. The official name is Snow Matter What 2023 MCAL by Sarah Shira of Imagined Landscapes. So if you would like to win this beautiful mini skein set, enough to make your gnome, from Black Sheep Dye Works, all you have to do to enter is make sure that you are subscribed to this podcast. Please like this video and comment, and please tell me your favorite holiday or seasonal activity or tradition. And it's that simple. You can enter to win. Random number generator will pick a winner, and I need to do this pretty quickly, so within a week, so that you all can start on December 1st if you're interested. You may not have this exactly in your hands by December 1st because of shipping, but you'll have it in enough time to have a gnome done by Christmas. So yeah, I'm so excited to offer that. It has been lovely talking with you today. I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode, and I will see you again in December. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving if you celebrate. I'll be having friends over this year, and then on Saturday, Joe and I will head to family for another feast. So 2 Thanksgivings, and I can't wait. Talk to you soon, everyone. Bye.